Thurman welcomes a fight against Boots, but wants champions first. Says a fight with Boots is in the possible future. Let's talk.
Push the weight in no flex. Flex the livest one in the section. Fit the runner, boy, you nigga, no question. You would run a motherfucker high stepping. Hey, you never had a big enough weapon. Motherfucker never learned your lesson. I'm a 88 pack nigga. I'm a 88 pack nigga. I mean, Dave Walker, drink blood, fangs out. Full moon, motherfucker, change like a hoe. I'm just a nigga from the hood trying to stack a little cheddar for the money.
Drew Titan Bronx on deck. Shout out to the mighty LDBC. Well, Keith is in the news. He got a fight coming up. And people are... I got to be careful how I say certain things. But there's no other way to say it. People are clowning Keith. Not because the man can't fight, but because of his last outing against Manny Pacquiao, and then he hasn't been in the ring since. A fight that a lot of people said, man, look, you're supposed to win that because he got Manny Pacquiao and he had a hiatus from the ring prior to that, but he was still supposed to win that. And listen, don't look at highlights of the fight. Go watch the fight. He was in the fight. Okay, he got dropped in the first round, but he was in the fight. He had Manny in trouble in a lot of spots. If he doesn't get hurt really, really bad to the body, I forget which round that happened. I mean, it's possible it could have went to a draw. Manny didn't go in there and dominate him. He had to be very careful. It's just that he came up on the short end of the stick of it. And, some people want to talk about, there was no drug testing for the fight. And Manny did look exceptionally youthful in that matchup. But whatever. If there's no smoke and no one wants to talk about it, let's not talk about it. We know how this business is, right? But I'm reading Boxing Scene, of course, and the link will be in the description. Article I'll come across. Thurman welcomes a fight against Boots Ennis, but wants champions first. It's a possible fight. Keith Thurman remembers what it was like when he was a rising force within the welterweight division, but couldn't for the life of him get top fighters to face him. He's talking about Floyd Mayweather. Now at age 33, Thurman knows what it feels like to be on the other side of the equation. All right, the former 147-pound title holder was recently asked if he has any interest in fighting Philadelphia's undefeated Jerron Boots Ennis, who currently occupies a position in the sport not dissimilar to that of Thurman back when he was still nipping at the heels of the likes of title holders like Paulie Malignaggi and Floyd Mayweather Jr. You better not duck me, Thun. Remember that? He was talking to Paulie, and Paulie's response was, hey, if the money's right, it's safe to say they never fought. But he was talking about Floyd. As a matter of fact, there was an opportunity for Floyd to fight him. We all wanted him to fight him. And he went the other direction. But it's Floyd, It's whatever, right? It's whatever, right? You don't get a matchup you want, it's whatever, right? Right. This business is something else. Thurman says he is all for fighting the dangerous 24-year-old Jerron Boots Ennis, but with one caveat. Not until he accomplishes his first order of business of collecting world titles. So he's saying, I'd fight Boots, but I need a belt first. Thurman wants belts. Thurman wants the champions. Thurman told Brian Custer on the Last Stand podcast, salute to Brian Custer, man. He's a solid dude. Boots just happens to be that generation behind my generation. That's what he's saying. I guess that's true. These guys are going to fight it out, and Boots is going to be right at the edge, right at the cusp, similar to the position I was in when I fought Diego Chavez. And I was number one contender for the WBA world title. Who had the world title? Paulie Malignaggi. What happened to him? He got beat by Adrian Broner. Yep. What happened to Adrian Broner? He got beat by Marcos Maidana. Okay. Can I fight Maidana? No. Why? Because Maidana fights Floyd Mayweather. That's a true story. Those are the events, and he's not lying. Y'all forgot about that, right? Chino Maidana ducked Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman was calling for that work hard. He ducked him after he beat Adrian Broner. He ducked Keith Thurman. He was saying his name and all that. But it's Floyd. Who's going to deny 2 paydays? Not 1, but 2 paydays with Floyd Mayweather. And I will admit, whole time, Keith Thurman was there. He's not lying. That's what I'm saying. If you was here for the whole thing, you would know that there were spots where Keith had a lot of support. KOs for life. Not afraid to let the O go. He said, okay, even better. Now Thurman's the mandatory for Floyd Mayweather. Oh, wait, a few months go by. Floyd's elevated to super champ. And they make me an interim to a regular champ, and I learned pretty much overnight that you're not going to touch Floyd Mayweather. Listen, we were there. He's not off on this. We were all there. He's not off on this. He's not. This is when we was like really rooting for Keith. Like, come on, give the brother a shot. Give the brother a shot. That's clearly no longer the case, though. Thurman, 29 wins, 1 loss, 22 KOs, is looking to break out of a more than 2.5-year absence from the sport when he takes on Mario Barrios February 5th at the Michelob Ultra Arena in Las Vegas. The 33-year-old Thurman has not fought since losing to Manny Pacquiao in 2019. Goodness. He said that he hopes to fight one of the welterweight champions, Errol Spence Jr., the Dennis Ugas, Terence Crawford, this summer. So he wants one of those guys. Upon beating one of those titleists, theoretically, Thurman says he would then be all game to take on Jerron Boots Ennis. I have no intention on doing that, ducking the fight, to Boots Ennis, Thurman said. All the intention that I have is to fight the champions that are in my sight. From there, I'll hold on to the belts. And if the young man is still there, still undefeated, wanting to fight, then it's a possible fight in the future. And I look forward to it. Added Thurman, he's a great fighter. He looks tremendous. I love his style, beautiful boxing style. That is the article. The link will be in the description. And here are my thoughts. Keith, you talk a good one. You talk a real good one. And we used to rock with you heavy. But what seems to happen with a lot of champions, and I'm not saying all of them, because all of them remain the same way when they get a belt. They go from being hungry, talking, trying to get notice, looking for a name. And then when they get a hold of a title, they start doing what the people they were chasing do. But here's the thing, Keith. As messed up as it sounds, and I don't want anyone taking this in the wrong nature. Floyd put himself in a business position where, by way of business, now what do I always say? I understand business, but you cannot make me like it. I'll say it one more time. I understand the business of boxing, but you cannot make me like it. In saying that, Floyd put himself in a position where he could do things like that. He was the money man. And he was enabled by a lot of crazy-ass fans. But I remember, Keith is not lying with that timeline. He's not lying. How did Paulie Malignaggi not fight him? He ended up fighting Broner. That was a big money fight. Then Broner went in the direction of Marcus Maidana. Thurman was on the sidelines looking for all the smoke. Look it up. It's not that long ago. But the problem was when he did get a hold of a belt, and by the way, Diego Chavez, that was the fella. I forget his name. It was Diego Chavez, if I'm not mistaken. The Argentinian cat. That was not an easy fight. That was not an easy fight. Those Argentinian cats are tough. But he won it. It was a dirty fight, but he won it. And I said, you know what? Big things for Keith if he can get the fights. He didn't get Floyd. Remember him running around saying, yeah, we're going to burn money. We're going to burn money. I said, okay, give him the fight. He's game. Maybe he could do something, but the fight never happened. Maidana beat Broner. Boom, into Floyd. That's the storyline right there. Everybody wanted to see it, and then Keith just had to get in line and wait. Why fight Keith? He didn't have to. But you see what I'm talking about? When fans and the business enable behavior, that was a fight I wanted, and I didn't get it. You see what I'm talking about? Things like that. So if he's really, but you see, I was about to say if he really means his word, if he gets a hold of a title, whether it be Ugas, Errol, or Bud, is he going to keep his word with Boots? Because y'all remember what he did to Errol, right? Y'all remember, Keith? Remember what you were saying to Errol? Get a kid another 2 years, another year. What? Now you're really on the opposite side of the spectrum, and you got a loss. You lost to a guy you were supposed to beat. Enter Ugas, who beat that guy and made him retire. That was supposed to be you, Keith, and you fumbled the ball. After what, a 2-year layoff? And then you have another layoff. And now you're fighting Mario Barrios, who's coming up to 147. How he came from 126 to 147 in what, 2 years? Go figure. I ain't gonna touch that one. But Keith, you getting there and laying egg, you're gonna have to pack it up, man. You got to go in there and dominate Mario Barrios. Don't play with this kid. I want to see the Keith Thurman that I saw fight Robert Guerrero, that I saw fight Diego Chavez. Don't get in there and lay an egg, Keith. You're supposed to win this fight. And this ain't no shade to Mario Barrios. I like the kid. But on paper, Keith is supposed to steamroll you, man. Now, I see you in there putting in work. You got the six-pack back. Look like you're taking it. You in people's gym at 3 in the morning. I hope you're serious, Keith. Because I did respect one time, once upon a time. I really did. And then you got a belt and you started acting funny. I didn't like how you was treating Errol. And now the tables have turned, and look at what Errol's doing with you. The difference is Errol's putting in work. The difference is Errol's marketability is 20 times what yours was. So I don't know how this is going to work out for you. Beat Barrios. And let's say, I don't know, somehow you land a title. Keep your word and fight Jerron Bruce Ennis if you mean what you say. But you got to get there first, Keith. You got to get there. You're demanding a lot. Bud gives you problems. EJ stops you. Bud might stop you. Ugas might box your face in. Boots, as I'm looking at it right now, stops you, man. You understand? You ain't got no one to blame for this behavior but yourself, man. But I'm not wishing like ill of you. I'm just saying, let's see what you do, Keith. And good luck to you. Bronx on deck.
Move!